My name is Richard Tan. I'm so happy to be here. Greeting from Paradise, otherwise known as Singapore.
Thank you so much for finding the time, Richard. It means so much to us, having this opportunity to learn from the best. And I know you are going to be very generous to share a lot today with us, especially at this time of crisis, where if we may have women who had a job and they lost their job, or women who had just started their business and then something, boom, crashed, or some women who have been in business, but because of COVID, they are facing these challenges. And having you with 30 years plus experience in business and also training the top experts in the world and leading the top organization in the world, we are so lucky to have you. I know you have shared your story many times, but something that what really stays with me all the time when I need an inspiration is when you put your targets to achieve something, there is no way that can stop you. And I remember that story when you were diagnosed with cancer and all the doctors were telling you that you should cancel all the events, you should cancel every meeting, you should stop working, you should just focus on healing yourself. And what you did, you listened to your voice. You gave power to your mind, to your body, and you became the owner of yourself. So how did you manage to recognize that deep ability in yourself?
Well, thank you so much for reminding me this story. But I will say this to you. Now I'm 63 years old. At that time, I was about 30 over years old. So let me just tell you this. I was really stupid at that time, okay? Because I have a critical illness and I might have died. So if any one of you who know of anybody that come across this, I would advise, don't be crazy or stupid like me. Yeah, you really need to take a good rest. If you are not well, you really need to take a good rest, because our life is more important than anything else.
There is a detail that I remember when I heard your story. At that time, there was no internet. There was not that easy as it is right now. But what you did, you printed brochures and you went taking the steps to knocking in doors of people one by one and telling people what is this about, how this is going to change their life. That shows so much determination. I mean, this is a big admiration for people who believe on their mission, who believe on their purpose, who believe on what they're doing. And then, you know what, your story reminds me, The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho, who says, when you are in a mission, that once you start something, the whole universe works to fulfill your mission. And it feels like that is the beginning of a journey where you see that the universe has your back.
The lesson here is that when I went over there, like Mirela has said, I actually worked very hard. I start working at 7:30 in the morning and start knocking on doors from office to office. I go up to, like, Hong Kong got very high building. I went up top of the building and make my way down, knock on doors, make my way down, and then go to another block, make my way down. At the end of the 4 weeks, I managed to fill up the whole stadium. Now, I do not work alone. I have a team of people. The reason why, at that time, when we were running the event, Singapore was a full house, right? We had 5,000 people. Malaysia was a full house, 3,000 people. Philippines was a full house. And the reason why Hong Kong have only got 300 people, even though we booked a whole stadium, is because the team there could not work together. They were from different country, they speak different language, yeah, and they have different backgrounds, so they couldn't work together. But when they saw me coming, not well, and still come and support them, they say, hey, boss is not well, but he come and support us. And they were motivated to work also. I learned this one lesson, and this is very, very important, this one lesson. Your team will only go as far as you are willing to go. If you are not willing to work 10 hours a day, don't expect your team to work 10 hours. If you are not willing to work 16 hours, don't expect your team to work 16 hours. If you are not willing to talk to difficult customer, don't expect your team to talk to difficult customer. If your goal is to make $1 million, make $1 million, don't expect your team to make 10 million. So your team will only go as far as you are willing to go.
That's the very first big lesson. What a lesson. Yes, go on, please.
Yeah, so that is the lesson I learned at that time, Mirela.
Another thing though, because I come from a psychological background and I always specialized in positive psychotherapy, which is based on the stories. When a client, for example, used to ask me a question, I would always have a story. And the stories serve us to get lessons and to get the answers that we are asking. So the way I took that story is like, wow, first is determination. And second is big faith, big belief, because you don't risk your life unless deep inside you feel that you are backed up. You feel that there are invisible forces supporting you. You feel that there is a bigger drive beyond you that is guiding you, and you trust, you surrender. Because I don't think you would risk your life if you wouldn't have that trust. So because in Global Woman, we talk a lot about conscious business, conscious leadership. And we are all conscious women. We use mindfulness, spirituality. Do you think that that has been a big part of your life and your drive to help you to become who you are today?
Sometimes there are some people who are very smart. Okay, so out there in a country, in a city where you're coming from, there are a lot of smart people who have higher qualification. Those who are smart, they think too much. They consider too much things. Like, for example, they consider, the risk. They consider the downside and everything. I must be honest with you that I'm not a very smart person. Now, I don't know what cannot be. I don't know what cannot be done. I don't really know what. People say, hey, logically, you should not do that. At that time, 30 years ago, the biggest event in Singapore was only 600 people. That's the biggest public event. But I went to book the stadium that has a capacity of 12,000 people. Now, logically, if I have been to a school that teach you how to run a conference, my teacher will tell me, Richard, either you are stupid or you are dumb or both. Because the biggest event ever in Singapore was 600 people. And how on earth you came up with booking a venue of 12,000? So either you're stupid or you're dumb. So I must say that I'm stupid because I didn't know that the biggest event in Singapore was only 600 people. I didn't really know. Because I didn't know that. So I didn't know that. So I don't know that it cannot be done. I don't really know that. So sometimes you just have to follow your heart and not consider too many things. Just because other people cannot do it doesn't mean that you cannot do it, right? And also be very mindful. Just because you cannot do it doesn't mean that other people cannot do it. So do not laugh at other people's dream. If somebody have a big dream, say, hey, I want to make Global Woman to have 1 million member. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at Mirela. Just because you cannot do it doesn't mean that she cannot do it. Okay? Because she may be crazy and stupid enough to go and aim for this big goal, right? Big goal. But you are too clever. You say, hey, nobody has done that before. It cannot be done. So don't laugh at other people's goal just because you cannot do it.
That's incredible. There are two things that I'm taking away from this. Number one, you're so humble. And that makes you so special as you are. And number two, the big lesson is that never put limits. Because sometimes there are other people that put us limits. And we compare, said, if it's so good that you didn't need to go and do some research and compare your dream with other people's achievements. All you knew, it was a goal, a dream, a desire, a burning desire inside you, and go for it. So you didn't limit yourself. And most of the time, in fact, these other people and the imprint because we come in this world like imprinted. Other people telling us where to go, what to do, what to wear, what to eat, whatever. So you didn't impact yourself. You didn't allow yourself to be impacted by the outside world. So Richard, now since then, so many successes have been following you, or it's like you have made success so natural. And that's why Success Resources is like, it's like a tapping into a big source, because this is how I see Success Resources, like a big, amazing, powerful empire that you open the doors and you allow everybody to tap into it, because it's a source. And I see it as a source of universe, it's a source of God, because you have filled it full of love and full of opportunities, changing people's life. So when you started Success Resources and this journey with Success Resources, did you know from the very beginning where you're going, or did the road start to teach you?
I never thought Success Resources would have grown to so many countries and of this size and of this magnitude. It's all by accident. Sometimes you work hard and the universe will bless you. Yeah, will bless you with opportunities. So it's very important that when you are given a small task, so-called a small task, you have to do it well. When you do it well, the universe will give you a bigger task. And you do that well, the universe will give you a bigger task. If you don't do a small job well, right, maybe the universe won't give you a bigger task, because you can't even do a small job well. So it's very important that whatever task given to you, you have to over-deliver. And because for some reason, when we were doing small seminar, we over-deliver, and then work pass around and say, hey, this company and these guys, they are real, they are for real, and people start to come to us. And that's how we get started, and that's how we grow into a global company.
Richard, your last message before we close this.
Okay.
Richard,
this message is for men, and for all of you ladies, tell your men this, okay? And this is very, very important. Men, don't try to be like the lady multitasking. Men, you guys can only do one thing at a time. So just focus on one thing and not try to multitask. And this is my message to the men, and for the woman to tell the man, say, okay, you only do one thing at a time. Okay, don't try to be like me, do too many things. So with this, I want to thank you very, very much for the opportunity to share with all of you, and hope to see each and every one of you again. Thank you so very, very much.